at the bottom of Chof Pei Zon Aleph. We said yesterday different kulas in the Tefillah, Tesha Kabin, and Mechatzos, where it's easier. That's where we left off, that, yeah, there are those that say that you can go in a body of water which is not necessarily my mekshamim, also merchatz, a bathhouse also could be used. It's a body of water of 40 saw, even though it's shuvim. Now, one says it's hot, and it is okay, but the bottom line is it's shuvim. So the Gemara continues, Bzeira, more than about 6 lines to the bottom, and the line of Bzeira, Havi Yosef, Ba'agna Dimaye Bei Misusa. He basically was using a bathtub in order to Agda Dimaya of the bathhouse. A bathtub. So he told this guy, let's bring Tisha Kabin and pour it on me. But you're sitting in the bathtub. You're sitting in the Tisha Kabin. Now, the problem, we're going to explain now in a second, is the problem is that it doesn't work that way. In other words, I'm sitting in water, but if you're going to Arboim Saw, that's called being toivel. That's how the shiur Arboim Saw is what the whole body goes into. But if you want to use Tesha Kabin, so you have to pour it on. You have to pour it on your head, on your whole body. So Ma Arboim Saw, it's Kib Arboim. So the rule is based on Arboim Saw. Ma Arboim Saw, B'Tvila, V'lo B'Nesina. Just like you have to go into the 40 Saw af Tisha Kabin. If you want to use Tisha Kabin, it has to dafka be B'Nesina, V'lo B'Tvila. So the fact that I'm sitting in a bathtub, that has Tisha Kabin is not enough. Okay. Rav Nachman. Okay, now we're going to discuss this again. This is a discussion whether or not the Tisha Kabin works, what it works for. We're going to discuss in a minute. So Rav Nachman said, "Okay, I want to make sure everybody in yeshiva here is mekayim the din of Takanas Ezra, the Tefillah. So he tikkun chatzah bas Tisha Kabin. So he installed a pail that they can use. Rashi says, "Litin mayim l'talmidim aleim shachris kodim kriyas Torah." That there's a pail, and you come in. Maybe it's like what we call primitive shower. You come in, and you dump the Tisha Kabin on your head. Ki also Dimi Amar Bekivi Yehuda Rusla Amru. They said when the other Ataraim came, or other when the Ataraim came, they said when they heard this sugya here, they made the following distinction: Lo shonu el lechoy la'oinsa. So when they heard about the Tisha Kabin, they said, "Okay, I hear." Right? That's what we said before. We had the whole Gemara before that they were whispering, they were saying over Tisha Kabin, Rabbi Akiva, Kiv ben Azai. Now, but here the Gemara tells that Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yehuda Luster, they said, no, it's true you can use Tisha Kabin, but that's a special kula el l'choyla l'oinsoi. So we're going to see there's different situations of kula. One is choyla. Means to say a person who's not up to going out in the winter and jumping, in 20 degrees below zero and freezing water in order to be toivel, right? It's too cold. So he's a now why? Just because it's cold? No, but because he's a choila. I mean, he's a weak person, and it's and he's not going to be able to do that. So now also oinso. Let's say he saw Kerry. He woke up and he saw that he has Kerry, so he has a problem since he's a choila, and it was oinus. So we say, okay, we have a solution. We use the b'diavad solution of pouring tisha kapit. But if somebody brought upon himself the Kerry, he brought himself, whatever, he was with his wife, and therefore he's tummy Kerry. And even though he's a choila, Abba himself, no, because you have the option. This was your decision, and therefore, if you're choila, so you can refrain. And so Bavatul Pruvu, yes, we're not so worried about that according to this opinion. Therefore, so that's true. What's the point of this whole chatzpah, of the special shower thing? It's not relevant. It's irrelevant if you're choila inside. So how often does that happen? So it is, and he's a choila. You can jump in the freezing water. Go get your chisel and go out to the river, break the ice, and go in the water. You're not choila. Go to the mikveh Arizal or whatever. I don't know. You're not a choila. Ki also Rabbi Rama Bu'usha. Have it uvde. Pashup Shah, I think it means this is play in Usha. This is what happened. B'kila. This is a story that happened in the Kila of the Rav Yeshia, in the entrance to the Rosh Yeshiva's house. They came also with shoulder Rav Asi. They asked Rav Asi over there, Amud who? And he answered them, he also said, oh no, so he said more. He said, no, if you're a choila, even a choila in margil, your choice, but you're not holding by going into freezing ice cold water. So then use tisha kabin. What about a choila oinsa? Pater b'klum. We were never obligated tisha kabin when you meet both the reasons of kula, choila and oinsa. Om Rabbi Yosef. In that case, it's tamid chatzpah Rav Nachman. The chatzpah Rav Nachman is good. Keep it. Let's fix it. Let's put it back together. She says, let's put the pieces back together and fix it, because we can use it for all these people that are choilim. Again, choilim doesn't mean he's extremely ill. It just means he is weak. So there are many of those that meet that criteria. Michti, let's see. Now the Gemara is going to analyze. So let's go back to the beginning here. Where does it start? It starts with the Ezra. It's a takana. Ezra said you have to be toivel for Kerry. So let's take a look. What was the takanas? Ezra. Did he say tisha kabin? Did he say abim sa? Choila, not choila. On the right, Ezra did the balding margil. Ezra made a classic takana. He made a very simple takana that a person who's bari, who could be toivel and he's margil. Margil means, again, he brought this upon himself. Memsa. So he requires memsa. And he made another part of the takana that a bari la'oinsoy, that somebody who had carry without it being his choice, so he needs tisha kabin. Also amaroi upligi b'choyle. And now the shaila is exactly, okay, that's all talking about a person who's buried. What about a choyle? What did, now, again, obviously he chose, he chose to do it, to have carry, but what's it in? How do we categorize that? Do we categorize that as aboim sor tishakabim? Upim arsav choyle margil is kaporia margil. We don't differentiate because of choyle, and therefore we need 40 sot. And what about, now here's the other extreme. He's a choyle li'oinsoy. So he's both. He's choyle li'oinsoy, kibari li'oinsoy. He's also, he needs tishakabit. That's one approach. Now there's another approach which brings everything down to more mako. No, he's a choyle, so let's we have to give some type of kula to this choyle because he's not going to make it. He can't just jump in the freezing river. So choyle margil is kibari li'oinsoy, which is tishakabit. Choyle li'oinsoy is what? It's patur miklum. But if he's also choyle, and it was an oinus. Wasn't expecting this carry. It was an oinus. He's patur miklum. Now we're going to. That's the basic assumption that Ezra created these two possibilities, and the shaila is how we fit the somewhat gray areas into those. Now, Rav says that's true. Where did Ezra say anything about this Nesina, about Tisha Kabin? I don't believe Ezra discussed it at all. Mitikin. Ezra Tikin Tefillah Balakarian. If you take a look at the words, what Ezra said, in the words you only find Takana the Balakari. Arbaim Sog. You want the mikveh. Ezra Tikin Tefillah the Bari Amargam Himself. So we're going to slightly change the story. See if it makes such a difference. But Ezra made classic 40 saw for a regular person, was Margil. And what's Rabbanan? Now later Rabbanan came along and they hiskinu the bari the oinzu tisha kabin. They came along and they added for a oinus. Maybe they're machber, they're adding something that wasn't there. Okay, fine. Okay, it's slightly different. It's not. I don't know if it really changes anything. Again, now we have our discussion. Now we can lay out again, pretty much as we said before, our discussion. No, nothing special with the choyla. So what? So too bad. You have to still keep the rule. And a choyla einso is like a bari. There's no difference in the choyla. Marsa bari margil memsa choyla margil. Oh, that's what we made the kula choyla. It's too difficult for you to go in the freezing water. Bari la einso. Tishakabit. Avul choyla la einso pat miklum. Okay, those are the same two shitas we said before. Okay, Rabbi Isai, what is the halacha l'maisa? What do we do? Amar Rav Hilchus bari amargil v'choyla amargil Rabbi Imsa. Then a bari does need Rabbi Imsa, or margil needs Rabbi Imsa rather. A bari la'oinso tishakabin. Now we differentiate in oines. We do differentiate. If it was carry beyond control, it's bari la'oinso, and tishakabin. I will choyla into patur miklum. Now, we're going to point out again, I said this yesterday, that if you want to know what the halacha comes out here, so if you look at Rashi, Divrei Amasko, Amar Rav Hilchus, so Rashi explains that that's not the halacha today. Miu, he says, Apuktam Roy, the pasuk of the Miu, Hashta Anu Kavyudim Seir Nehigian. We paskin, we said it on Aleph already, that we go like these three elders. One of the elders is Rabbi Yehuda Meseira. Like was quoted before on Amud Aleph, we go according to Meseira. He says, "Ein divrei Torah mekablin tuma," and therefore you need not be teifel meikar adin. Zok the Gemara weiter. Again, there's a few more the kudas here about exactly how they didn't work with Kerry. Torah about Kerry shenis latisha kabin. Torah. So this brisa is of the opinion that about carry can use tisha kabin. Okay, he doesn't tell you which carry. That's fine. Here we start to make other chilukim. That's la'atzmo. But to teach others is more chomer. Arboim sa. It says no. It doesn't matter whether you're learning or you're teaching. It's a person who's about carry. Now again, we don't know if it's the margil or not or whatever, but is memsa. Zok to Gemara, like a little more. Rabbi Yechanan Shimon Levi. V'lezer Rav Yosi b'Chanina. So there's two groups. There's Rav Yosi, there's Rav Yechon and Shuman Levi is one group. Rav Yosi b'Chanina is a second group. So one of this, Chad mi'Hazuka v'Chad mi'Hazuka. One of each of the groups are Reisha. And Chad Amar Had Bamed Ramurim La'atzmoya of L'Cherim Emso. The first statement, it said, you need Emso if you're teaching others, Lashon L'Choyle Margil. So that whole discussion is Choyle Amargil. Av Choyle La'oinsoy, even if you teach it doesn't matter. Choyle La'oinsoy. You need, always need Tisha Kabin. Oh, it's always sufficient Tisha Kabin. Once you're once you're an Oinus, Tisha Kabin. Chad Amar Kol Lacherim. One says no. He says it's really going on the Acherim part. Kol Lacherim Afilu Choyle La'oinsoy Ad. Even Choyle La'oinsoy. If you're teaching others, you have all the excuses. He's a Choyle and you're Oines, but don't Adika Memsa. Chad mehayzuga, that's one opinion. Chad mehayzuga, v'chad mehayzuga aseifa. Chad omer, had omer yuruvim memsa b'chol makom lo shana b'karka. That which you say, the seifa. What's the seifa? Rabbi Yehuda made a statement. No, you always need 40 saw. So that's only. That means when he says 40 saw, you mean b'karka. It means you have to go out to the river. Go in the freezing water, not emalasot. I became loy. One disagrees and says no. You can go in kalim. You can go in the bathtub. You can go in, if it's big, a swimming pool. Swimming pools are kalim. If you kalim, what swimming pool may be? I shouldn't say that. No, it's more like a bathtub. It's a kli means it's above ground. It's like an above ground swimming pool. That would maybe be kalim. You can use that also. Bishlam and the man Amar Afilu b'Kelim Hanin Tani Vidomer Memsa Michol Mokum. So if you use an inclusive statement, even Kelim, I hear Laman Amar b'Karka, but if it's limited to Karka in b'Kelim law, what does he mean when he says no matter what 40 saw? What's he adding with that Kol Mokum? What's the suya? The suya Mam Shuvim. Oh, that he still says Kol Mokum is you have to use Karka. But you can use a swimming pool. You can use shuvim. Shuvim is not a mikveh tar. It's not a din mikveh in the Torah, but it's a mikveh. So talk to you a little more. Rabbi said, "Papa Rav Unebei Dev Yeshua v'Rav Bar Shmuel Krichi Rifta." So they were eating bread together. They were wrapping bread. Bahadi Adodi Amalei Rav Papa Haveli L'Didi Livrach. So Papa said, "I should be the one that gets the mitzvah, that gets the schus." To say Birkas Hamazon, to be moitzi. Why? The nafal ilai tisha kabin. I was retiring myself with 9 kabin. Amalei Rava Bashmuel Tanina Bameh Dvar Mamurim La'atzmoi. But you want to be moitzi us? Do we learn Lachera means Mamsa? So shkoyach that you had tisha kabin. It's not enough. And how will the Didi live Rach the Nipol Abayim saw? Chari doesn't really mean Nipol. Chari means, as we saw before, he was. Rashi says it. He was toivel. I was toivel in the mikveh. 40 saw. So I'm good. Now it's a little bit strange. Taina. Why is it a maila? What do you mean? Okay. So he had Kerry. Who was it? Had Kerry. Rava Shmuel. So I went to the mikveh. So I didn't go to the mikveh. I didn't have any carry at all. Why? I should be the one. Okay. Yomi de Pischa Erev Pesach. He was tovel hoitzi ram dechol because I guess he would be moitzi people. I don't know, the Haggadah or whatever it was on Pesach Hallel, and therefore. He was marked between Toivel by himself. We hold that it's enough. Tisha Kabin also. Okay. Anyways, Rabbi, to simplify what goes on over here, the bottom line is we pass to keep Meseira, and Torah is not Makabel Tumah, There's a shaila, by the way, in the Shulchan Aruch, maybe, if we paskin tefillah is the same thing. You do not need to be toivel. However, there is a shaila in the poskim that maybe tefillah is more chomer. It's a shaila in Achronim. And maybe tefillah does require so we paskin it doesn't. Me'ikar adin, there are those that are machmer, therefore, for tefillah to try to do toivel b'msa, or tisha kabin also works with that, which pretty much in a shower you could create tisha kabin pashtas according to some poskim.